Now these floods are actually really serious. It's like, jokes aside,
It's terrible.
Yeah. So it's absolutely insane. Check this out.
En el centro de Texas, las celebraciones del 4 de julio se convirtieron, en cuestión de minutos, en una verdadera pesadilla, cuando los niveles de río se dispararon y desencadenaron inundaciones repentinas y mortales.
Right now, there are 20-some that aren't accounted for. That does not mean they've been lost.
Al menos 23 menores que acampaban en el área se encuentran en estos momentos desaparecidos. Equipos de rescate esta tarde por tierra y aire recorrían el caudaloso río Guadalupe, llevando a cabo rescates y buscando a personas reportadas como desaparecidas. Al menos se han reportado 5 alertas de máximo peligro de inundaciones para comunidades a lo largo del río Guadalupe. Esta zona central de Texas recibió la lluvia que se esperaba durante todo el verano, en solo cuestión de horas. Y en algunas partes se reportaron hasta 10 pulgadas de lluvia, en una zona de sequía que tomó a todos por sorpresa. Algunas de las casas cerca de este río quedaron prácticamente destruidas. Las autoridades en estos momentos están buscando a personas desaparecidas.
Okay, so that was in Spanish, which is very Texan. But there's nothing joke about this, by the way. This is kind of crazy. These are old. Like, you know, the stats are old. It's like 100, I think.
Yeah,
now.
it's up now.
And like so many children. All I was gonna say is this is a tragedy. It's absolutely terrible what's going on. And I just have a feeling we're going to be dealing with North Carolina again, of a situation to where these people are going to be forgotten tomorrow. They're not going to get the help that they need, and we're going to send more money to
other countries.
Yeah. Well, we always put the other countries first. We saw that after, Hawaii was pretty much had their fire over there. Same thing with California had the huge fire. Then you had the Carolinas, which had the flood, and the whole time we were just sending money to foreign countries, Ukraine, Israel, and many others, even to do like gender study. So it does get very frustrating. And I know that one of the officials came out and said there's 75 bodies have been recovered. I'm sure the number has gone up since then, 48 adults and 27 children. But the sickening thing, too, that you're seeing from a lot of people, on the left or just in general, is how they're coming across and attacking everybody. I highlighted a few of them for you that are actually in the doc, where you can see how disgusting people can actually be. These people, they're losing their lives. Their homes are destroyed. People are dying. And what they do is they use this as an advantage to attack, to go ahead and just be hateful, or blame it on climate control and blame Trump for a flood. So it's just ridiculous. Yes, there's things that Trump's doing now that I don't agree with, that I'm frustrated with, but go ahead and start blaming him for this flood and blame him for all this other crazy stuff is really just ridiculous.
Well, it's ridiculous, and it's also childish. I mean, you have people like, what's his name, Ron Flipanowski or whatever. He blocked me because I called him Ronathan a little while ago, which I thought was a funny way to get blocked by someone. But he made a post saying the deaths of these people are on Trump's hands. And I'm saying, really? Like, genuinely, the bodies are still warm, and you are out here trying to blame the president of the United States, who had nothing to do with rain. He had nothing to do with the summer camp that was going on. And then you had a black lady going on, and she's saying this is a Christian camp for white little girls. And so both sides of the spectrum are, it's Trump's fault or they deserved it, which are just ridiculous takes. And they're only going to make people even more extreme in their views. Like for all of his faults, Trump is already going out to the floods. He's already going to ground zero to deal with helping people, just like he did in 9/11, right? To be fair, he was there helping people after the attacks.
Yeah, he said he'll be there Friday.
Yeah, and so he's going out to check the people, and he's going out to take care of everything. And it's like, all right,
he's not there because he's with today.
Who's he with? Netanyahu?
Yeah, so he had to meet with Netanyahu first. Yeah. I'm not just making sure his priorities are straight. He had to meet with Netanyahu.
Wonder if he's going to pull the chair out again for him.
Damn it.
Well, I'm just making sure.
Not to be that person who's like, oh, well, both sides are bad, but it is really annoying. Every single time there is a natural disaster, it's like someone comes out and is like, oh, well, it's actually Biden's fault. It's actually Trump's fault. And then they're like, the right wing's like, oh, well, actually, it was weather manipulation from the Chinese because they wanted to sell the land to the Clintons or something. And it's just like, honestly, I feel like natural disasters have always happened. You can't really blame that on politics. Like, obviously, there's some political discussion to be had about like cleaning up after it and everything. But it's just, honestly, that's one thing that just really pisses me off. It's like, I feel like natural disasters should be like the one thing that our country should just be like, oh, we should maybe just help each other out here.
Well, we should be more united. Absolutely. We should be
Yeah.
more united when these types of things happen. I mean, these are terrible events, but what they do is they say you can't let you can't let a tragedy go to waste. You can't let something like that go to waste. So pretty much what they do is they think, okay, this is our time to capitalize on it. This is our time to go ahead and use this to our advantage. And we see that time and time again. You know, if it's with the weather, we see it. Same thing with gun grabs. What they go ahead and do is if there's a tragedy, somebody's like a crazy transgender who wants to go shooting everybody, like, well, this is a perfect reason why we need to get rid of guns. So what they do is they just take any opportunity they can to go ahead and manipulate the story so this way it could be used to their advantage. And it's crazy.
Yeah, and it's really interesting, and this is totally non-proven, nothing, just like a thing that I heard. But there was supposedly a man in the 1950s who claimed that he could make rain happen. And to prove it, he went to California and caused one of the worst floods in the state's history. And then supposedly he was so sad about it that after he denied the government, they were like, we want to buy this technology from you. He denied it. He was so sad that he unalived himself. But that, if that technology ever existed, doesn't exist anymore. And our government would never do anything to potentially put its citizens at risk, you know, for the sake of the greater good, or creating a tragedy to divert eyes and or draw attention from something else.
Yeah, you know, I was looking right now. Yeah, it's over 100, by the way, killed.
People.
About close to 40 children, and it's, you know, it is really, really, really frustrating. It is really frustrating to me that people joke about the fact that, you know, oh, this is like white people and they voted for Trump and then he defunded the National Weather Service and that's why they didn't get alerts. When in reality, I think it said that like the river like expanded like up to like 26 or 30 feet in like 45 minutes. And it was late at night, like 4 a.m. There was broadcasts. It was rural. A lot of people were not looking at their phones. The Weather Service had 5 staff members that night when usually they only have 2 because they predicted what was going on there that night. Emergency services were on the scene. One individual, which we'll look at, toxic white masculinity, he rescued 165 people, one Coast Guard special swimmer. But, you know, some of the people that criticized it was like Dr. Christine Probst. She said this. Go ahead and read that there, Braeden.
May all
Yeah,
visitors,
thank you.
children, non-MAGA voters, and pets be safe and dry. Carroll County MAGA voted to gut FEMA. They deny climate change. May they get what they voted for. Bless their hearts. What a terrible person.
She's terrible. She's, terrible. What they do is they bring it down to that. As I said, they just take advantage of any moment and then to sit there and protect FEMA. I lived in the Tampa area when we had the hurricane that came. And what FEMA was actually doing is they were actually skipping houses if they had a Trump sign on their lawn or whatever. They turned it into something political. And I don't know for sure, but there was a couple of us in my neighborhood where we all applied to get assistance for the damage that was caused. And anybody who, and I can't say this is 100% for sure everywhere, but what we found was the people who were conservative got no kind of funding, but people who were like independent and something else, they did get funding. So FEMA is just corrupt all the way around, unfortunately. They've lied to us in the past that, I remember one time, I forget what year it was, they even came out and they did a whole fake interview at the White House. They brought in all their own reporters. They got caught doing that. I think that was during the the Bush administration. And FEMA has been crooked since the beginning. FEMA has been, ever since then, have continued to just go ahead and use politics against people to manipulate situations. And it's a really disgusting organization, FEMA. And even also another thing FEMA does, and I won't go too much down road, FEMA is the guidelines that they put on a lot of the American people. So for instance, in Florida, a lot of homeowners, they wanted to go ahead and they wanted to rebuild their homes because their homes had been destroyed. But FEMA put in guidelines where basically if you wanted to rebuild, you can only rebuild up to a certain amount of money, which a lot of these homes are worth a lot more than what they're allowed to do. Or they had to actually build on top of their home a whole nother floor, like basically come up, which people can't afford as well, and just remodel and create all brand new. So these guidelines that they put in place are not affordable for a lot of us. And what they do is they pretty much destroy everything that they've tried to go and help. It's been terrible.